Hi, this video walks through the process of integrating Impira with your Snowflake warehouse, so you can extract unstructured data with Impira and stream it back into Snowflake for further analysis. In this example, we'll be comparing data between invoice documents and an existing data set of payment information already within our Snowflake warehouse. What you see here is a list of sample queries I'll be using in this demonstration. I'll run these first two queries to set up our environment. Today, we're going to be extracting data from some sample invoice files already within our Snowflake warehouse. If I run this query on line 9, you'll see all the invoice files that we'll be working with today. Notice the prefix invoices. We'll come back to that in our next step. The first thing we want to do is upload these invoices from Snowflake into Impira. So sign into Impira, go to the upper right, choose Upload and From Snowflake. Enter your Snowflake credentials and stage information here. Now that your information is filled in, look under the stage field. You'll see Test Internal Stage. This is where our demo files are stored in Snowflake. For path prefix, we'll put invoices /, which is the prefix I pointed out to you earlier in Snowflake. By using this prefix, I'm specifying which files I want to upload. It's a bit like picking a specific folder from your computer. Okay, so hit Mount Snowflake Stage, and Impira will automatically create a new collection and start to bring invoice files from Snowflake into Impira. We can see that Impira has successfully imported the invoices. Now, let's set up an automation that will ensure that what we edit or change in this collection will automatically stream back into Snowflake. Go up to Configure Automations, hit the plus sign next to Destinations, and choose Snowflake. Fill in your Snowflake account information. In the field Target Table, let's use the name Invoices. Impira will automatically create this table in your Snowflake data warehouse. After we hit Submit, in the same page, you can check on the activity of this integration by clicking View. Back in Snowflake, if we run a really simple query like select star from invoices on line 12, you'll see one row for each of the invoices, then file path, and some other file information. Remember, we haven't used Impira to set up any fields we want to extract yet, so this table is pretty simple at this point. Let's go back into Impira and start extracting data from these invoices, starting with the field Total. I'll start with any file, highlight the value that I want, and label it. Close File View, and you'll see Impira working to extract that same field from every other file. Now that the total field is extracted from all the files in this collection, we can quickly go through the review workflow to review Impira's predictions. When you confirm or correct predictions, Impira will update the collection's machine learning models and reprocess those predictions. This makes the models more accurate for both current and future uploaded files. Back in Snowflake, let's run this query on line 15 to find both the average and the sum totals of the invoices, which is possible because of the data we just extracted using Impira. You can see that Impira has successfully streamed extracted data back into Snowflake, allowing us to immediately start querying the data like we just did. This simple action highlights the strength of the Impira and Snowflake integration. Impira is all about extracting the data, and Snowflake's all about analyzing and querying it. In just a few minutes, you went from unstructured PDF files to SQL queries. So, not only can you query the data within the invoices themselves, but you can join that data to other data sets within Snowflake, allowing you to run some pretty interesting queries. Now let's try to compare data sets. Let's say we want to determine which invoices need to be paid. That's one query. And what's the outstanding balance that I owe? That's another query. Now we're back in Impira, and we're going to extract the invoice number with the same exact process we used earlier to extract the total field. We're going to open a file and add a field. Name it invoice number. Highlight the value you want and create field. You can see that Impira has extracted the invoice number from the rest of the invoices. Now that we've done that, we can run a query that joins the invoice files to the payment data already within our Snowflake warehouse, and it figures out which invoices haven't been paid yet. I'm going to run the query on line 18. If you look at the table below, it gives you invoice number and a link to the invoice itself, which is hosted within Snowflake. You can click on any of these to download the file locally if you'd like to take a look. Now let's run another query to figure out how much money do I owe. I'll run the query on line 21. You can see in the table that there are 14 invoices that I have paid and 11 invoices that I haven't paid. It looks like I paid just over $360,000, and I have almost $300,000 outstanding. The last query we'll walk through is to answer the questions, how often am I actually paying these invoices after they were due? And what's the dollar amount? This is a similar query as before, but I'm filtering where the due date comes before the date where I actually paid the invoices. As we have earlier, we'll extract yet another field from our files in Impira, this time due date. Open a file, add field, give it a name, and choose the value. Now that we've done that, I'm going to run the query on line 24. Here we see that there were 6 invoices that were paid after they were due, and the total dollar amount is about $157,000. These examples demonstrate the rich functionality of the Impira and Snowflake integration. You can seamlessly query data that's trapped inside unstructured or semi-structured files like these example invoices with data you might already have in your warehouse, like payment data. To find out more on how Impira can help you automate your workflow, go to impira.com. Thanks for watching.